This podcast contains strong language and discussions about relationships, sex, and love. It may not be suitable for younger listeners. This is the Can't Keep My Mouth Shut podcast, and I am Nick Selena. Hi, it's Nick Selena. The reason I'm already giggling is because I just had a chat with my producer, who always points out that I almost double my planned time of each episode. I'm like, yeah, this episode's going to be 15 minutes. And then I just chat so much. So the last episode I did, my plan was 10 minutes, definitely 10 minutes, 10 minutes. 20 minutes later, he's like, are you aware? Yep. Can't keep my mouth shut. And on that note, this episode is, are one-night stands worth it? And by one-night stands, what I mean is having sex with someone you met that night, probably drunk, and in the morning they leave or you leave, and that's it. Done. That's your one-night stand. We can extend it to a fling. Maybe 2 or 3 times. Nothing serious. Not clearly you or them are only tapping that. You're not even, texting, trying to find information out about them. Are they worth it? No. The end. No. Are they worth it? Listen. If you've never had a one-night stand and you're curious about, what it's like, and you can't really wrap your head around fucking someone you just met, it is odd. But usually, in my experience, it would be someone that is I'm already out drinking and I see someone at a bar or a club or a friend of a friend and I'm like, fucking hell. Hello? Right? And I'm probably horny as well. And then there's this electric connection. So you're not just oh, you'll do. I fancy a shag. Some people are. I fancy a shag. You're the last one in the bar. Coming in. Just gotta come. I need to spunk somewhere. All good. Come on. That's not how I do it. I think a lot of men do it that way. I mean, don't come after me, guys. But I do think guys are sometimes like that. I know that's awful, but just want to spunk into something that isn't their right hand, and anything goes. Is that why guys like prostitutes? I mean, do we need to delve into that? Oh, I should so do an episode on prostitution. Why men pay prostitutes, but I need people to come forward, and no one's going to willingly come forward to me and be like, hey Nix, I love prostitutes, here's why. Anyway, I digress. So for me, the one night stands is some electric, unexpected sexual connection, and of course it's always heightened if you're drinking, right? Or you're chatting and drinking or whatever, and it's club and vibey, and you've got dressed up so you look really sexy and you feel sexy. Yeah. That's how I'll usually turn into my one-night stands. Also, for me specifically when I'm drinking, I don't ever want to go home and stop. So if I'm going home and someone's up for it, yeah, come back to mine. We'll have beers on the balcony, play some music. Let's keep this going. And then, of course, the bedroom's 15 feet away. So let's now talk about the sex. Is one night stand sex worth it? Honestly, you can have some fucking blinding one night stand sex. Mind blowing. After last year? Yeah, after I left my relationship, I had one of the best sexual nights ever with a guy that just fucking got me. And then it made me realize the sex I'd been having for the last year was shit in comparison. I was I just didn't expect it, because if you have this frame of mind, of which I used to do, I would be like, one night stand sex is going to be shit, right? You don't know each other. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. This is basically a stranger. You've known them, 4 hours? 4? 3? How awkward is that? And yet, no. Sometimes not knowing them, not wanting anything from them, not having some connection beyond this moment it's a turn on, and it's very freeing, right? You feel like you can be more you because you don't care if you ever see this person again. Up until last year, I never thought that. My opinion was like one night stands are always shit sex, or you can barely remember it because you're so drunk, been there loads. Or you wake up the next day, you look over and they're asleep and you're like, oh God, I thought you were a strong 9 out of 10. You're 3 out of 10. And then you give yourself the ick and you just want them to get up and leave. I've been there as well. Get out of my bed and get out of my house, and I'm going to wipe this memory from my mind. But if the person is a strong 9 out of 10, or you know what I mean, you think they're hot, and the sexual connection is there, oh my God, sometimes it can be fucking wild. I think the reason I had... If I think back, I don't want to think back, just get me horny. I had such a great night with this guy was because he tapped into like my dom sub vibe, which both of my exes couldn't fulfill. I was really let down by, dom sub. If you're new to me, or that dominance and submissive, I like a dominant man. I'm a submissive in the bedroom, very open about that. So to find a one night stand that fucking got that, I was mind blown. I remember the next day I rang up my best friend in the UK and I was like, I just don't know how to handle that fire sex. And I was like, now I want it. I want it all the time. All the time. Like, where is he? He needs to come back. I want it all the time. He didn't, by the way. It was a one night stand, right? That's the point of it. And it's annoying because that's an issue with one night stands, is if it's so good that it makes you want it again. And y'all never agreed together that this was more than one night. This was a one night, right? However, they also can be shit. And I think the majority of one night stands is that shit sex vibe. I think I had a random unicorn of a fucking hottie. Oh, his body. He was like 6'3", ripped as fuck. This manager of this gym. And... oh, God, the sex. I wish you girls and guys could see inside my head. Like, it was so good. He was doing everything I love. He was choking me, but, like, got it right. He was saying all the stuff I want to hear. I just don't know how he got it the way he got it. But, like, dude, if you're still ever listening, fucking kudos to you. But... beyond him, yes, there has been some horrendous sexual experiences and one night stands. Awkward doesn't cover it. I need a new layer of awkward for how shit that one night stand sex was. And if they don't leave, usually if it really is that shit, they will go or you can leave. If you're drunk enough where you just pass out, you got that awkward morning thing. I hate it. Like, fucking leave my house. I tried to get rid of one guy. What was this, last year? I should do a whole podcast episode on this. But I tried to get him to leave. I declined. I wasn't feeling it. And he kind of didn't get the memo. And then it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. And he wanted to go and get McDonald's and then come back to my house. And I was like, no. But I didn't know how to. I was getting a little bit scared because he wasn't leaving, and I ended up locking, as soon as he left to go and find his McDonald's, I locked my door and he was messaging, trying to come back. And so I got the ick. I got the ick, we're calling it. So that's like, your worst case scenario where someone's in your house and you really don't know them because obviously you just met them and then you change your mind, or you have sex and it's so shit you just want them to leave. How do you do that nicely? It's so awkward. And I mean, when I say shit sex, I mean, like, what if, like, they come really quickly or they can't get it up because they're too drunk? Oh, the amount of fucking times I've had that. I can't get it up. I've had too much to drink. Then why are you here? Please be gone. Oh no, I'm not shitting on guys that can't get. I get it. It's a thing. And I know that you won't know that until, like, you probably were horny, and then when it comes to it, it's not working. I get that. It's fine. But still, it's awkward. But then I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Yep, sure. So I think that the question is, one night stands worth it? I think the majority are pretty bad. But I think if you do find someone that somehow manages to match your connection in the bedroom and kind of knows what you want, they can be fantastic. And if you are single, like moi, they're kind of fun because it's no strings, right? When did I last have? Let me think. I was seeing someone for a wee bit this year, as you'll probably saw because you'll stalk my Instagram. But my one night stand, I think there was a couple in maybe like a few months ago. I can't really remember. They're great. Like, if you're no strings and I don't want anything. I'm not looking for a boyfriend, but I, obviously want my needs met. Hallelujah. Go to a bar, find a hottie, which in Singapore is the first problem. Oh my God. Fuck me sideways or don't, because you're all ugly. Where are my hot men? Damn. But it's good for me to fulfill my needs, and then be like, see you later, and not have to worry about seeing them later and just crack on with what I'm doing. So I guess the answer to the question is there is no answer to the question. Are one night stands worth it? Well, it fucking depends on whether you're up for just a cheeky shag, whether it suits and fulfills your needs and where you're at in your life, like me. And it also depends on the guy or the girl you choose. Because if you choose someone and the sex is embarrassing or shit, or by the time you get them home, you're already regretting it, and then you're sobering up and realising they ain't as hot as you thought, or maybe you get home and then you think, oh, Joe, I'm not even horny anymore, but now I've got to go through with it because here they are. All that, then no, it's not worth it. And I would put my money on it. If we interviewed every possible person who's had a string of one night stands, I reckon 70% would say they are not worth it. And what makes that part not worth it is the ick you get after. Obviously, God forbid if you don't use a condom, then you're probably thinking, I've got to go have a fucking STD test now because I don't know where they've been. You don't know this person. And then you got all that worry. God forbid if you're not on any contraception, and then you'll be worrying you might be fucking pregnant. And yeah, all for what? A sex night you can barely remember, or a sex night that actually was the opposite of what you thought it'd be. Because sometimes guys are really fucking hot and sexy, and women too, and the sex itself is shit. But someone being attractive and sexy has no correlation to how they are in bed. We assume that if they're hot and fit and sexual and, that they'll be great in bed. No, do not make assumptions, my friends. So that can be another fucking letdown. But yeah, I reckon 70% of all the poll I'd ever take, people would say they're not worth it. However, because of my shining example last year of an incredible one-night stand, I hold hope. And also because they suit my needs right now. So very selfishly, I think they are. Because I get what I want. I don't have to worry about being anyone's fucking girlfriend or their wife or their maid or their cook or their cleaner or their parent. I can just be me, get what I want, and then crack on being me. And on that note, I am done with this episode. I would love to hear your thoughts as always. Do you think one-night stands are worth it? What's your thoughts? Do you love one-night stands? Do you get a kick out of one-night stands? Do you love the idea and the thrill of being with a stranger for one night only? I just want to sing a song there, and you know the song. Or are you like, I feel so gross opening up my body to some fucking total random. Never, ever do I want to do that. Or I've done it once or twice. Absolute horrendous. No interest anymore. Tell me your experiences. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Nixalina, Nixalina. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you all next week. Thanks for listening to the Can't Keep My Mouth Shut podcast. Produced and hosted by me, Nixalina, and recorded in the Splicecast Studios in Singapore. I'm available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and all major podcast listening apps. Do subscribe to enjoy a new episode every Monday evening. Please do give me a 5-star review. It helps other people also find my podcast. For more content and features to read, you can check out my website, nixalina.com. That's nixalina.com. I'm also on social media. Simply search at Nixalina, Nixalina, to find me. Don't be shy. Come say hi.